Test. Break 3-4. This is my beginning episode of a series on AlQueda. The question is, what is AlQueda? To start off the series, a brief explanation, starting with a quote from Richard Clarke. Richard Clarke says that AlQueda is a political organization that wants to take over the world. I agree with that description as a baseline definition of AlQueda. AlQueda uses many different weapons. I think their weapons have been developed over years. Starting with the development of designer viri. You can go back to the very beginning of AlQueda. I believe that AlQueda was started as a group to give access to Western banks. A group that would provide access to Western banks from the Asian banks. That would be starting in the time of Napoleon going into Egypt for what you would call modern day AlQueda. Possibly the history has come full circle over centuries worth of time. I would say that the modern group of AlQueda started with the Napoleonic Wars. Napoleon visited North Africa and found the way that they were banking money in North Africa at the time, and wanted to get in on the banking of money, wanted their money. They had a rebel in Algiers that fought the French, and his name was Abd al-Qadir, and I believe that he is the namesake of the modern day AlQueda group. Abd al-Qadir was awarded different things after he saved the Christians in that part of the world. He was awarded access to the French court after Napoleon, the royal court that started up after Napoleon was deposed, and he was also awarded into the realm of Templars. This would have given the Templars access to banking methods in North Africa and South Asia. And that would be the beginning. It's even quoted that Abraham Lincoln sent arms to Abd al-Qadir. Possibly so. I've researched that. In later episodes I will try to explore the possibility of Abraham Lincoln giving arms to Qadir. To go modern, the United States started different pharmaceutical outlets in the Sudan. I believe that AlQueda representatives were represented there, maybe undercover. Different things started to happen in Algiers. They had a World Cup. After the World Cup, the people went home to Brazil, and all of a sudden we had bees that took on different characteristics. That may have been the starting of designer viri from Africa. We still had other animal viri that come from Africa. And then we had the Sudanese that were taken over by AlQueda leadership. I believe that one of the weapons of AlQueda is the pharmaceutical weapons. The other weapons is transnational extremists. In particular, transnational extremist Osama bin Laden, a rich one. Bin Laden had a lot of money. He bought basically the entire country of Sudan for many years, and the Sudan had a pharmaceutical building that was built by the United States in that country and was used by bin Laden. Who knows what kind of designer viri they came up with, or nanorobot technology. This pharmaceutical building was later bombed by the United States. Bin Laden sponsored terrorist groups in Afghanistan. Again, the United States went into Afghanistan first and led the Mujahideen against the Soviets, possibly an underground for the Mason movement. And then Al-Qaeda came in afterwards and hired the very same Mujahideen to fight for them, with many of the Muslims coming from other parts of Asia to join in on training in Afghanistan. This might be the time when the worldwide organization of Western leadership split with worldwide organization of Eastern leadership. And then possibly it might also be a split in leadership of who actually ran these different social technologies that have been developed over decades. The actual leadership of Al-Qaeda could theoretically be white supremacists that don't like women, that are using the Muslim extremists as terror weapons to gain power in the world and deploy their weapons to master the human race. This concludes my first episode of What is Al-Qaeda? Jeff at jeffs.com, j-effs.com.